Good morning, students. In the last class, we have completed the joint stock company as well as what is the private company and public company. Now we are going to study a difference between both of them, public company and private company, in tabular form, along with the basis that key how can we differentiate between both of them. When we are talking about the members in public company and private company, the minimum number of members in the public company is 7, and there is no maximum limit for the members. It is unlimited. But in the private company, minimum member is 2 and maximum number is 50. Now second, minimum number of director. How many numbers of director having public company and the private company? In public company there are 3 directors, and in private company there are 2 directors. Third difference is the it is based on the minimum paid up capital. The minimum paid up capital for the public company is 5 lakhs, and for the private company it is 1 lakh. Index of number related to the list of the members, how many and how much there are numbers of the members. For the public company, they have to maintain the index of number. It is compulsory for public company, but in the private company it is not compulsory to maintain the list of the members. The next is transfer of shares. In the public company they can transfer the shares. There is no restriction for the transfer of shares, but in the private company there is restrictions on the transfer of shares. Next is invitation to public to subscribe to shares there. So in the public company they are invite the public to subscribe its shares or debenture. Okay, the shares and debentures are the government securities for the increasing the capital investment, for taking the loans. Debentures are taking for the loans, and share is for the public investment. It is for investing. So in the public company they can invite the public for subscribing in the shares and the debentures, but in the private company they can't invite the public to subscribe in their shares as well as the debentures also. Okay, now we are moved to the last topic of the chapter, that in the form of business organization. The last topic is basically deals with the how we choose and how we analyze that the which form of business organization is best for me, according to our interest, members, investment, as well as the membership, liability. So it is the basically depend upon the us, for where there are many opportunities and many options for choosing the different form of business organization. So in this we are going to study that the how we choose the which is suited for me to organize and do the business activities. So after studying various form of business organization, it is evident that each form has certain advantages as well as disadvantages. Okay, we have studied the different kinds of the business form, but we have also seen that there has both advantages as well as disadvantages also. It is therefore become vital that certain basic considerations are kept in mind while choosing an appropriate form of organization. Okay, so it is very important for the any businessman, for any entrepreneur, to see the pros and cons of all the business organization. What is the basic advantages when we taking the sole proprietorship, and also we see the limitations of the sole proprietorship. And whenever we go to the partnership, joint stock, cooperative society, so we have to see all of their advantages as well as disadvantages. From that we will choose one kind of business form of organization, and after that we will continue our business activities. Now, first one is cost and ease in setting up the organization. So first of all, we see the what is the cost and what is the ease in the when we decided to set up our organization. As far as initial business setting up costs are concerned, okay, when we start our business, the most important thing ki how much cost it incurred. Sole proprietorship is the most inexpensive way to starting a business. Okay, the sole proprietorship start with the only single individual, so it is very inexpensive, it is not costly to start a business. However, the legal requirement are minimum and the scale of operation is small also. So we have when we studied about the sole proprietorship, there are no legal requirement are for we don't have to take registration and all the legal formalities, and the scale of operation, whatever we doing the any operation in the business, it is also very small. In the case of partnership, the advantages of less legal formalities and lower cost. So when we talk about the partnership, it is very there is also very legal formalities and lower cost is involved, and there is also lower cost involved when we start the business because of the limited scale of operation. There are also very limited scale of operation. Cooperative society and the companies have to compulsorily registered. In the case of cooperative society and the joint stock company, a company, it is for the company and cooperative society, it is mandatory for both of them to take the registration. Okay, it is mandatory for them. Without registration, without registered in the registrar, they can't start their business. Okay, formation of a company involves a lengthy and expensive legal procedure. When there is a formation of a company, joint stock company, it is very lengthy, long process, as well as needs a very too much expensive also. From the point of view of initial cost, therefore, sole proprietorship is preferred form as it involves least expenditure. When we see only about the cost to start a business, at that time sole proprietorship is the best because it create less cost to start a business. Company form of organization on other hand is more complex and involves greater cost. So in the formation of a company, it is very expensive as well as it is very costly and long process. So for when we talk about the choice of the business of the form of organization, and when we take the one factor, that is cost, according to that sole proprietorship is the very easy to form, and it is very less expensive to start a business. But in the case of joint stock company, it is very expensive as well as lengthy process. Okay, when we talk about the liability of the members and liability of the different form of organization, there are different kind of liability related to the different form of organization. On that liability, for what purpose and for how we will choose our business organization. In the case of sole proprietorship and partnership, the liability of the owner as well as or partner is unlimited. Okay, in the case of when we talk about the sole proprietorship and the partnership, we seen that the liability of both of them are unlimited. Okay, when they have to pay their debt, they can also sold out their personal assets. This may call for paying the debt from personal asset of the owner. Okay, the why same line, when we are not able to pay our debt, they have we have to sold out our personal asset for the paying the debt. In joint Hindu family business, only the karta has the unlimited liability. Okay, in the case of joint Hindu family business, the karta has the unlimited liability and the other members, that is co-partner, they have the limited liability. In the case of cooperative society and companies, liability is limited and creditor can force payment of their claims only to the extent of the company's asset. Okay, when we talk about the cooperative society as well as joint stock company, the liability of the members are the limited. Hence, from the point of view of investor, the company form of organization is more suitable as the risk involved is limited. Okay, when we talk about the to set up a business, in the case of liability, the joint stock company is the best suited for the any members to start a business, because in this case risk involved is limited. Whatever the risk which is involved in the business, it is very limited in the case of joint stock company. Now third is continuity. The continuity of the sole proprietorship and the partnership firm is affected by such events and death, insolvency and insanity of the partner. When we talk about the continuity of the business, the sole proprietorship and the partnership is affected by the such event, just like death of the member, insolvency, as well as the retirement of the partner. It will, the sole proprietorship and the partnership will affected by it, so they can't continue their business. But in the case when we are talking about the joint Hindu family business, cooperative societies and joint stock company, in the case of business need is a permanent structure. But in the case when we talk about the joint stock company, joint Hindu family business as well as cooperative society, there will be no effect when related to the such events like the insolvency, insanity and the death of the partner. The company, the joint Hindu family business will continue, it will never be stopped. So in the case of business needs is permanent, structure company form is more suitable. Okay, when there is business is permanent structure. When we talk about the continuity, so for that joint stock company is the best suitable. For short term venture, proprietorship and partnership may be preferred. Okay, when we go through for the long term, then that for that reason joint stock company is more preferable. When we talk about the small scale as well as short period of time, then the partnership as well as the sole proprietorship is more preferred. Fourth is management ability. A sole proprietor may find it difficult A sole proprietorship may find it difficult to have expertise in all functional areas of management. Okay, it is quite impossible for the sole proprietorship that he is efficient and competent in all areas, in all field. In other form of organization like partnership company, there is no such problem. Okay, because in that area, basically in the joint stock company, partnership, it is run for the long scale and their capital is too much, so that they are capable to appoint a expert as well as good advisory. So it is possible for the joint stock company and partnership, so that they can employ these kind of management ability. But in the case of sole proprietorship, it is quite impossible that a single individual have all kind of ability. Division of work among the members in such organization allow the manager to specialize in specific area. There is division of work is found in the partnership as well as the joint stock company. So they are divide their work, and there is some kind of expert is also managing all the business. but this may lead to situation of conflict because of the difference of the opinion. But sometimes it creates the conflict or dispute among the members because all they have the different opinion and different decision related to their matter. So it also increase the conflict among the member. Further, if the organization or operation are complex in nature and require professionalized management, company form of organization is better alternative. Okay, when we talk about that, the organizational operation as well as the professionalized, because in the case of joint stock company, a company can employ the expert as well as the good administration because they run for the large scale and they have the large amount of capital. For that purpose, for that reason, in the case of management ability, joint stock company is most suitable form of business. Proprietorship or partnership may be suitable where simplicity of operation. Okay, the proprietorship, sole proprietorship and partnership is suitable at that condition where there is simplicity in operation. There were no such so much of complication. For that purpose, it is allowed, it is choice for the any entrepreneur. Thus the nature of the operation and need for the personalized management affect the choice of the form of organization. Okay, the nature of operation as well as the management ability also affect the choice of the form of organization. How we choose the different form of organization, the scale of operation as well as management ability, it also affects too much. Next is capital capital consideration. Okay, companies are in better position to collect large amount of capital by issuing shares to large number of investors. Okay, in case of companies, they are in better position because they issue their shares so that they can earn more capital because to a large number of investors. They attract the large number of investors, the one who invest their money in their company. So in the case of companies, they are more suited for the, because they are in better position. When they want more capital, they issue their shares so that people will invest their money and the company will get the maximum number of capital for their investment and for their expansion of their business. Partnership firms also have the advantage of combined resources of all partner. Okay, in the case of partnership, they have also the combined resources because there are too much of the partners and they can join and make a partnership, and so that the all the resources of the partner will also joined. But the resources of a sole proprietorship are limited. But the resources which is available to the sole proprietorship, it is very limited in amount. Thus, if the scale of operation is large, company form may be suitable. Where the medium and large size business, one can opt for partnership or sole proprietorship. When the scale of operation is large, for that any entrepreneur or owner can opt for the joint stock company. But if there is medium scale of operation or small scale of operation, a company or any member may prefer the sole proprietorship as well as the partnership. Further, from the point of view of the expansion, a company is more suitable because of its capability to raise more funds and invest in expansion. When any company or for when the it is related to the expansion of the business, company form is most suitable because they have large amount of fund and they can invest for issuing when they want to expand their business, when they want more money, they will what they will do, they will issue their shares. So the people will purchase those kind of shares, and the company will get maximum number of money, and they can expand their business. It is precisely for this purpose that in our opening case of Neha's father suggested she should consider switching over the company form of organization. For this purpose, for expansion of the business, a company form of organization is most suitable. Next is degree of control. If direct control over operation and absolute decision making power is required, proper proprietorship may be preferred. Okay, when there is control on the any decision, it is basically deal with the whenever any person or member want to take any decision, they don't want to share with the other member. For that reason, for controlling power for the decision, at that time sole proprietorship is most suitable. But if the owner do not mind sharing control and decision making, partnership or company form of organization can be obtained. But if the members of the company do not hesitate, do not have problem with the other members to share their problem, to share their decision, then at that condition a a partnership as well as company, joint stock company is more preferred. The added advantage in the case of company for form of organization is that there is complete separation of ownership and management, and it is professionals who are appointed to independently manage the affair of the company. So in the case of companies, there is separation of ownership. There are there are different department, and that different department is headed by the some professional or some expert, so that there is separation of the work and the management also, and there are also appointed as the some professional who manages all the activities of the business. Next is nature of the business. What will be the nature of the business? So if direct personal contact is needed with the customer, such as in the case of grocery stores, proprietorship may be more suitable. Nature of business means ki what will be, which kind of business will be there. So if any individual, if any member want to contact directly to the consumer, directly to the customer, at that time sole proprietorship is most suitable, so that any retailer can contact with the personally to the consumer at that time, at any form of organization. For this purpose, for choosing any form of business organization, sole proprietorship is more suitable. For large manufacturing units, however, when direct personal contact with the customer is not required, the company form or organization may be adopted. In that condition, when the any individual, when any members of the company want their large scale of operation, and they do not want to directly connect with the customer, at that position they will choose the joint stock company form of organization. Similarly, in case where services of a professional nature are required, partnership form is much more suitable. When there is case of professional nature, when they have the relation with the professions, so at that condition they have to be chooses the partnership. Okay. Next is it would not be out of place to mention here that the factors stated above are interrelated. Okay, we can say that the all the factors cannot be interrelated. Factors like capital contribution and the risk vary with the size and nature of the business. Okay, factors like means capital contribution and other like factor risk, they are not interrelated, they all are separated from each other. And the risk vary, and the capital contribution as well as the risk, it is totally depend upon the nature and the size of the operation and the scale of operation. When there is large scale of operation, then there will be more chances of the risk also, and that time there will be more capital required. When there is small scale business, so that there will be less capital required, and there will be only less amount of risk also involved, and hence a form of business organization that is suitable from the point of view of the risk of a given business when run on a small scale might not be appropriate when the same business is carried on the larger scale. Okay, when we talk about that, the we are taking the which is related to the risk, and we are talking about the small scale. The same condition is not applicable for the large scale. They both are different for the related to risk, as well as all other factors like liability, membership, like the ability of the management. So these are the different. We cannot overlap both of them, that the all the qualities of the small scale business are related with the overlap with the large scale. Both are the different thing, and the risk and the capital and the liability, it is all are separated from each other, and each one has their own characteristics. Okay, it is therefore suggested that all the relevant factors must be taken into a consideration while making a decision with the respect to the form of organization that should be adopted. Okay, for that purpose, when any individual is going to start a business, at that time he has to check all kind of factors. He has to see all kind of factors whenever he start to business. It doesn't mean he only talk about the risk and ignore all other factors like liability, capital contribution, and the others, whatever the ability of the management. He has to see all the factor, and after seeing all these, he can take any decision and start their business. It cannot be, these are not be interrelated to each other, so that when he is seeing that risk related, so he will start the sole proprietorship. No, it is not possible, because at that time he has to see all the factors which is affecting each other. So at that time he can't take any decision by seeing only the one factor. Okay, there is last topic is left in your second chapter, form of business organization, that is a comparative assessment with the different form of organization. Okay, a comparative means ki we will deal with the all kind of different form of organization in one platform. Okay, with the basis of the comparison, how we will differentiate all of them with the related to formation in sole proprietorship, partnership, joint Hindu family business, cooperative society, and company. In formation of a business, minimum legal formalities, easiest formation. Okay, registration is optional and easy to formation. They can easily, and registration is not mandatory in the case of partnership. Joint Hindu family business, it is less legal formalities, and there will be also exemption from the registration and easy formation. Okay, in the cooperative society, registration is compulsory. In the case of joint stock company, registration is compulsory, as well as it is very lengthy and expensive process. Members in the sole proprietorship, only owner, single owner. In partnership, minimum is 2, maximum is banking, it is written here 0, it is 10, and other for 20. In the joint Hindu family, at least 2 person or division of family property. No maximum limit. There is no maximum limit in the joint Hindu family, and at least 2 member will be there. In the cooperative society, at least 10 adult member. There should be 10 adult member, and there is no maximum limit for the members. In the companies, a minimum for the private, in the private company, minimum is 2, and the in maximum is 50. In the case of public, minimum is 7, and for the maximum there is no limit. For the in the case of capital contribution, there is need of limited finance in the sole proprietorship. In the partnership, limited, but more than that can be raised in case of sole proprietorship. It is limited, but it should be more than the sole proprietorship. In the joint Hindu family business, it is ancestral property. It is hereditary, all the parental property. In the case of cooperative society, the capital contribution is limited, and in the companies, large financial resources is needed. In the case of liability of the members, in sole proprietorship, it is unlimited. In partnership, it is also unlimited, and jointly with the each other, and the all the members, all the partner of the partnership will share all the profit as well as the losses in the ratio which is decided. In the case of joint Hindu family business, for the karta it is unlimited, and for the other member it is limited. Cooperative and company, in the case of cooperative and company, the liability is limited. And when we talk about the control and management, owner takes all the decision, quick decision making, because all the decision is taken by the sole, so it is too much easily taken by the any it is easily taken by the owner of the sole proprietorship. In the case of partnership, partners take decision, consent of all partner is needed. Okay, in the case of partnership, the all the decision of partnership is required. In the case of joint in the family business, karta will take all the decisions. In the case of cooperative society, elected representative managing committee take decision. They have taking the vote, and for that, they for taking the voting, they have the member of all the cooperative society has the voting right, and they can elect their managing committee. In the case of company, there is separation between the ownership and management. All the department is different, and all the departments is headed by the some expert, and the ownership and the separation of there is owner separation of the ownership, and all the department is headed by the some expert and professional. In the case of continuity of the business, in sole proprietorship, it is unstable business and owner regarded as one. Okay, it is unstable. If there is some events like death, insolvency, then the sole proprietorship comes to an end. In the case of partnership, more stable but affected by the status of the member. If one member or one partner is left over the, then there is also the chance of the wind up of the partnership. In the case of joint Hindu family business, it is stable and business continues even if karta dies. Even if karta dies, the eldest member of the family will become the karta. That is, he or she will control and manage the business. In the case of cooperative society, it is stable, and because of the separate legal status, there is separate legal status. For that, there is continuity of the business. It is not affluenced by or influenced by the any events like death, insolvency of the members. In the case of company, it is also stable because of the separate legal status. For that, there is a perpetual succession, that company may be end or maybe start or maybe end, but only by the laws which is taken for the starting a company. For this topic, we have completed the second chapter, different form of business organization. In the next class, we have start a new topic.